Hello, everyone. Welcome in to the East Alabama Works video podcast series. This is episode number 43, and I'm Carl Brady, the Workforce Program Manager for East Alabama Works, your regional workforce council for the 7 counties of the East Alabama region. And what we do on the podcast is try to introduce you to some of the resources and workforce development projects and people and things that are going on around the East Alabama Works community, the East Alabama Works region. And today we wanted to talk about Central Alabama Community College. East Alabama Works has a very close relationship with the community colleges in our region, and the community colleges perform a vital work for the workforce development in the region with technical programs, educational programs, and all of the things that they're involved with. And specifically today, we wanted to talk a little bit about the Talladega Center of Central Alabama Community College. We work closely with them. They host our leadership development classes and in the fourth quarter of every year, and we have other things that we work with those guys on. And we wanted to feature some of the new programs that they're offering there at the Talladega Center for Central Alabama Community College. So I have a couple of guests with me. As you can see, Michael Barnett is the Dean of Workforce and Economic Development for Central Alabama Community College, and Jerry Creel is the Talladega Campus Director for Central Alabama Community College. So, gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being with me today.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I know, Jerry, you and I talk quite frequently, and you've been really excited about a lot of new programs that are being offered there on the Talladega campus. And so let's just get into that. What led to, and either one of you jump in, and we'll just have a big conversation here. So don't wait for me to ask you specifically, but either one of you want to answer or jump into the conversation, just go right ahead. But the Talladega campus, what has led to this increased growth and why there are all of these new programs being offered in Talladega?
I think I can answer that for a minute. One of the things is Talladega, our center here in Talladega, it offers people in the community an opportunity to get an education that is close. A lot of our population in the Talladega area has, they've got the same type of needs that everyone else across the country does. There's economic needs, there's childcare, there's transportation needs. By being right here in the community proper, a good majority of our students drive less than 10 minutes or either have somebody bring them to campus. Mm-hmm. So having affordable, convenient education or training is a way for people to get what they need to succeed in life. I think that's one of our primary reasons for growth.
Right. Yeah, being that community sponsor, we have the Career Center next door to us, so we offer our adult education in there as well. Now that's been moved into the Talladega Center, and Jerry's got that situated and going because it goes back to there's a lot of people that don't have the resources, so they can come there and get on the computer. They can get their GED. Of course, with that GED, they get a free class. So then it may give them a chance to say, is this what I want to do? So Jerry, you may want to add to that. I think we've revamped that again.
Yeah, we are revamping that a little bit again. But one of the reasons that we wanted to put the GED program on the campus proper is to remove that stigma of people going back to earn their GED. A lot of our population going back for the GED, yes, we do have some that are 18, 19 years old, but we also have those that are 55, 60, 65 years old that need this to, continue on with their careers for any advancement or even to get a new career because of our economic situations now. A lot of our people looking for retirement or either in retirement or having to go back to get retrained, and they didn't have their GED initially. By putting it on the campus itself, it removed the stigma of earning that GED. People, think about it this way. When you say, well, where are you every Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock? If I say I go to a GED program, sometimes people feel a stigma. But if I say I go to CAC, that removes all the stigma. They walk in the same front door as every student in this facility, and the only difference is just what classroom do they walk into.
Yeah,
That's
because
the only difference.
they are a CAC student.
They are a
That's
CAC
right.
student.
Well, let's get into some of the details and we'll just kind of go down the list. You guys are offering a new nursing program that is doing well on campus, right?
Mm-hmm. We do have a nursing program. We've got the LPN program. That's the old name for it. It's the one almost most of us know it by, but it's also known as the PN, or the practical nurse program. But it is a 3-semester program specific, and a person can complete that entire nursing program to be an LPN. Once they pass the state test and that type of thing, once they get that education, they're licensed can be licensed as a nurse. But that entire program can be done on this campus. Michael, you want to say anything?
No, I'm listening. That's great. Yeah. Well, it gives, and there again, there's the community involvement. So it's local. So we can, they don't have to drive to another campus. Um, so we're targeting that area, which is good, good for our community. But no, the PM program's going quite well. We've seen a lot of growth and expect a lot more.
And we have 2 extremely solid supporters right here in the community. One of them is Citizens Hospital. It's now part of Orlando Health as of midnight last night. But and we've had discussions already about what do we perceive the future to be between the hospital and us. Everything is still looking like an extremely positive relationship. We work very closely with each other. And Rehab Select, it's a large nursing facility, a skilled facility here in the community that's just a few blocks away. We have a great partnership with them as well. They send a lot of their employees over to us to either work through phlebotomy, the nursing program, some of our business programs, because they need programs in all areas other than just nursing.
Right. And Carl, one thing that we're looking at, we've and we know there's a shortage of EMS, EMT, so that's something that we're looking at to do. To bring more of the non-credit programs back on campus for somebody like Jerry said to upskill themselves. It's a big thing because one thing that we're working with is Skills for Success. The ambulance driver is coming on board. Well, every county needs somebody that can drive an ambulance. I mean, that's important. We got, and I'll use their terminology in the back of the bus. We still need those people, but I think we'll get, but we've got to have somebody to drive it. So, that'll be offered. And so that will be something that helps the Talladega Center out as well. So the non-credit part of the program.
And
yeah, the ambulance drivers are important. If you're in the back of the ambulance, you want somebody driving safely and navigating through the traffic.
Absolutely. I'd love to be that guy. Hit that siren and let's go. So
Yeah,
that may be my retirement.
Well, one of the other things with the EMT program is we've already offered a basic EMT here about 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. It's been in the last few months. And the majority of our people that showed up for that were fire department personnel needing to be trained, or either those seeking employment with the fire department.
Yeah.
We do have some that want to come specifically to work at an ambulance service, but the majority of our attendants at this point are for fire departments. And we are looking to host another EMT class within the next 2 to 3 months.
It seems that careers in the fire service have had a boost over the last couple of years, and with the high schools offering dual enrollment type programs with community colleges, fire departments being involved in hosting and teaching, and it's they've seen a real resurgence in the pride of being a firefighter. And most fire departments require the firefighters to be an EMT or at of a certain level anyway. So it's just a great way to get all of that training and all right there together, and have that credential in your pocket when you go and apply for that job, or if you already are a firefighter or even volunteer firefighters
Yeah.
attend the EMT courses as well.
Yeah. Thank goodness we have our first responders. That's all I
That's
can
good.
say. Thank goodness we have them.
Jerry, let's go back to the LPN program for a minute. There is a program once you complete your practical nursing program there, you can you also offer an opportunity to bridge into RN and things like that. Did I understand that correctly?
That is correct, Carl. One of the things, keep in mind, an LPN program can be a terminal program. A lot of people that earn an LPN want to just stay that. They're content with that for a career. It can provide a good, solid income. That may be all a person wants to do. But if a person opts to go on to become an RN, we do offer a bridge program, and that would be done through our Childersburg campus at this time. We've had discussions of bringing it up here, but we're still relatively new in the health profession up here, so it takes time to grow. I can foresee that at some point up here, but right now we do offer the bridge to the Childersburg campus, which is about 25 minutes away. And keep in mind, with an LPN program, that is, regardless whether it's LPN or RN, you still have to have your basic academics to enter the program. You still have to have your science, and you still have to have the anatomy and physiology and a psychology class and the English. You still have to have all of these things for either program, RN or LPN. The LPN program is specifically 3 semesters long. The RN is 5 semesters long. Those 3 semesters from the LPN are the 3 that's in the RN. So once you get ready for that bridge, you only have 2 more semesters, and you've got the RN under your belt. But it's the first 3 of those RN classes or semesters is the LPN program.
And that just makes sense from there. You're already 3 semesters in. Why not just go ahead and do 2 more and get the full thing?
That's
and you've already made that much of an investment, so just go ahead and finish it out.
But the nice thing about doing it where you earn the LPN first and then move to the RN, 2 primary factors. One, it is easier to get into an LPN program than it is an RN program. The entry requirements are not as stringent, okay? In the sense that there's not as much competition. If you've got 20 spots open and you've got 40 applicants for an RN program, half of those are not going to get in. A lot of people think that they have to go straight for the RN, whereas if they'll do the LPN first, where there is not as much competition to get into the program, now you go into the program, easier admission to it, but then you can make the transition to the RN later if you wanted to, and you're not a new student at that point. You're transitioning, which puts you in a different category. And the second big piece of this is really important. A lot of those in our society are struggling to pay bills every day. They struggle to pay their just to get to school, where a lot have Pell Grants and so forth, but you still have to come up with gas money and other types of things. If a person does an LPN program, it seems to dissect that long-term RN program a little bit more so that a person can actually finish the LPN program and then be working in the healthcare profession, earning money to help them with the last couple semesters.
And getting that experience as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're fortunate. We have a great apprenticeship program and tons of partners. So that's one thing that we really work towards, and making sure we keep those connections and industry partners. So the apprenticeship is very important for us.
While we're talking about health sciences, Jerry, you mentioned phlebotomy, and you also have a medical assistant technology uh, class as well. Talk about those and what those are and how they can lead to other things in the health industry.
Okay, so for phlebotomy is something that that's for those who don't know, that's drawing somebody's blood like you go to the lab and you have to get your blood work done. We have credit and non-credit program for that. The both of them lead to the ability to work in a lab or some type of medical setting drawing blood within just a 15 weeks, whatever the class is. They can get credentialed after that. One of our more popular is the non-credit program, where people just want to, they're not interested in coming to school to receive a degree. They just want to come and get a skill so that they can go back and work in an occupation immediately. So with the phlebotomy, that's an opportunity for people to come to school 2 or 3 nights a week or 2 or 3 days a week for about 12, 15 weeks, something like that. And then they're credentialed after that to get a job, assuming they pass the test, of course.
Right.
There's always the credentialing aspect.
Yeah.
But we've provided the tools for them to get to that point so that the credential can be accomplished here, even on this campus.
And as we here in the state of Alabama are trying to kind of make a little bit of a transition to what we are calling competency-based hiring or skills-based hiring, it's important, even if all you do is get that skill in a non-credit course, that's something you could put on your resume that is important to the employers who are looking at it. And employers are starting to look at the importance of experience and skills as opposed to just the education aspect of a person's past.
One of the things that you seem there seems to be a big push for is these micro credentials. You hear the word micro credential. I'm going to twist the words. We don't use the word micro credential really, but we do use certifications. We use short-term certificates. We use these short credentials or classes that a person can come out being certified in something. For example, an EMT or a phlebotomy in the healthcare profession specific. They get those. They're employable after that. They've learned the skills. No, they are not experts. Nobody's an expert until you've been in the field for several years. But it gives them the foundations to enter that job immediately. And so rather than, I mean, yes, I do want people to enroll in the school. But my primary objective, and I know those of us at CAC, our objective is what can we do to help our communities?
Right.
We do want the enrollment, but we also know what do we have to do to provide training and education for our community members. And if our community members just need 15 weeks worth of training or 12 weeks worth of training to be able to get a job, then it's our responsibility to provide that for them.
Talk about the medical assistant technology. What is that? What's the difference between that and LPN and the other things that are related to healthcare?
Michael, you want to? Can't hear you.
Yeah, Michael, we've lost your audio there. There you go.
How about now? Sorry about
there
that.
We go.
I was trying to make sure I had my mute so I wouldn't mess y'all up. Yeah, our MAT program, it's a non-credit program. The medical assisting technology, they can go in and work in any hospital, any doctor's office. I mean, it is, to me, it is another step for that intro into nursing. Do we have people that leave our MAT program and go into the PM program? Yes. So, like I said, it's just another stepping stone. It's one of those programs that you can come in. I believe it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, I think it's 3 semesters or maybe 5 semesters. I can't remember right offhand, but like I said, it's one of those. It's just another stepping stone for us for medical technology. And like I said, we have them going into different parts of the industry, the nursing or medical industry. It could be that they're going to that doctor's office or to the hospital. How many people do we have in that last MAT program, Jerry?
I think there were 10 or 12 that were in the last class.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to say about the way we do our programs, and it's not just this campus, but it's CAC as a whole. The way it's set up is that regardless what a person's ability is, there's a place for them to fit in. And we don't see it as a gradient of somebody's better or worse than another. It's just each of us has a different skill set when we go to begin school. Mm-hmm. If a person can start in the LPN program, or they can start in the RN program if they meet those criteria. They can start in the LPN, which is a little bit less restrictive. So we do have some of our folks that do not make it into an LPN program just because of academics in their past. So MAT is a good option for them. And then we have people with an MAT degree or the program there that later on want to transition into nursing. If a person doesn't have the time, the resources, whether it's time or money, or maybe they've messed up a lot in their past with academics, they can still go and do phlebotomy or EMT or something, and it's a progression. And we make these progressive pieces so that people have opportunities to advance to where they feel comfortable with what they need for their career.
Very good. Let's transition now, as I'm keeping an eye on the clock, transition to your business class offerings. I think that's important to have some access to business skills as well. We have so many people who are getting into the world of entrepreneurship. In the way things have been going since COVID, people saw an opportunity to start their own businesses, even if it's just a home business selling stuff they made in their garage on Etsy or something like that, and or just somebody having a side gig to make a little extra money. We all need a little bit of business know-how when we get ready to start doing those kind of things.
Here on this campus, we have some very solid instructors. Everyone is credentialed. Everyone has a minimum of an MBA in order to teach the business classes. We've got several folks from the community that are directors or facilitators in some position in the community in different organizations. We've got everything from accounting to your business law, the introductory courses, personal finance. We can do all of these classes here. I'm actually one of the instructors as well. Yes, I am the director here, but I truly enjoy teaching. To me, it's enjoyable and relaxing. I like doing that. So I teach a couple business classes, typically in the evenings, because I see our community. We've had such an outcry for people in the community, like with what you said, Carl, people starting that entrepreneurial line or wanting to do advancement in an organization that they're in, but they don't have the skills necessary or the credential necessary to make that jump to a supervisory or a managerial or a directorship role or whatever it might be. We can provide those here on this campus. We provide them here. We can provide them on our other 3 campuses as well. In addition to that, we've got online. So, I mean, we can meet someone's need, whatever and wherever they are. But I will say, if I can just interject this one piece about classes, though, I think one of the things that we really have to keep in mind, a lot of our folks here in Talladega and the surrounding area, and when I say that, I'm talking Lincoln, Mumford, from the top of Talladega down toward the Winterboro area, this whole area. A lot of our folks are wanting to be in school in a classroom so that they can network, so that they can have debates and dialogues. And it adds an extra element to their education to be sitting there in person, as opposed to online. Online classes have a place and a purpose, and I'm totally in favor of them. But what I'm finding in this area is a lot of our folks are wanting to have that sit down dialogue and interaction and networking, that type of thing.
Bouncing ideas off of each other and hearing other
Yes.
people's thoughts and ideas, always an important way to learn. What would you say to someone like me? I would love to be a little bit more business savvy with some of the stuff that I do, but I haven't been in a classroom setting to take notes, take and to absorb everything and then have a test that I have to pass for 30 some odd years. So that's intimidating to me because it's been such a long time. I didn't like it when I was doing it 30 years ago, and it's been such a long time. What would you say to someone like me who has come and asking about your business classes?
First thing I would say is it's never too old to go back to school. Uh, a lot of people think just because of my position, I went to school when I was 20, 25 years old. That's not the case. I didn't go back for my bachelor's until I was in my early 30s. I have 3 masters. My last master's degree I finished it 5 years ago. So I was 55 years old, 54, 55, something like that, when I finished my last master's degree. I enjoyed the college process. You're never too old to go back to learn something. For you specific, Carl, I would say let's give it a try. What you see?
We'll sign you up, Carl, today.
Sign me up. That's right.
But one of the nice things about being in a community college system is that I've been in schools where I've sat in an auditorium where there are 500, 600, 700 students in one classroom. That's not the case for a community college system. In our classes run anywhere from 8 to 20 people. That seems to be about average. When you have that, you have the opportunity to build that rapport, that relationship with the other students in the class, as well as your professors. So by doing that, though, you have a greater chance of success. The instructor can see if you are not doing well. The instructor can say, hey, let's talk after class a little bit. Whereas in an auditorium of 700, the instructor didn't even know my name. I was just simply a number.
Right.
So there's that personal dynamic here in the community college that we can build that rapport and that bond. And there's other opportunities. There are other opportunities. You can get tutoring. You can. I do not know of one instructor on this in this facility right here that would not stay after class or before class or to help a student that was truly needing to understand that subject better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good thing about the community college, there's a lot of, and I would say this for all community colleges in the state of Alabama, that individual attention. So I think that's where we thrive. Like Jerry said, you've got a couple hundred people in one class and they don't know you, but we know our students and we know what they need, and making sure that they have what they need. The individual attention is really important. And I think it's a lot of, and during that time, the classes are small. You can have a lot more interaction with the entire group. I mean, you don't have to just put everything out there and we're gonna have a test Tuesday. I think that's important. We have that capability of having small classes and, individual attention. It works.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds great. Let's move to your new mechatronics class that you're going to be offering starting in January. This is a big move for the industries in the area who need people who understand the machinery that are being used in the industries and the robotics. Robotics is such a big thing. So you guys have a grant and you are about to launch this new mechatronics program. I'm excited to hear more about that.
The grant that we Dr. Robin Calvert went after, it is this is the first part of it. I think the first part of it we're receiving $200,000. And what we're doing with that is that'll cover some of our instruction, materials and supplies, but most of it will be a mechatronics type unit to where it will have AC, DC, motor controls, PLCs, variable speed drives, things like that. So it'll give them a great hands-on opportunity. So, with the theory involved in it, we'll be able to do a lot of e-learning, so they can do the e-learning side of it, and that's something that would help me, Carl. You mentioned about, I hadn't been in classroom in that many years. Mine's a lot
Right.
more. But so you do a little bit of that e-learning, and then you do a little bit of that classroom theory. But then to me, the hands-on part.
Yeah.
And if we have somebody doing a co-op, or if they're in industry and they're coming back to upskill, well, that's all the better, because they're going to help that peer next to them. Well, this is the way we do it. So anybody who's out in industry already kind of, they're headed toward that in that career. The hands-on part of it is great. And for the person who's never done that before, there's your introduction into industry.
Hmm.
Variable speed drives on that machine may not be the same thing as when they get to industry, but they'll know what it is. And of course, PLCs, that's another one, something that we do a lot of. Typically, we run a lot of boot camps on the college campuses, and most of them they're really inexpensive, and that's for new and incumbent workers to be able to, upskill themselves. Um, we've got some plans to do that as soon as we get this uh, machine in place. Of course, we're going through the bid process now. With this grant, we have to bid everything out. So as soon as that happens, but we should be up and running.
And this is an important skill to learn, as I mentioned, in local industry, in our regional industry. They're all very high tech. They
Yep.
all have this great equipment to work on. That's I think it's a lot of fun to do some of the jobs with the high tech industry nowadays. But it's a good place to learn those things. We've heard that industry in the old days, being dark, dirty, and dangerous. Well, nowadays it's clean, well lit,
Right.
very, very bright, a great atmosphere, and we need students that there was a time when students who were going into technical fields were considered to be, well, if you're not good enough to go to college, you got to go into a technical field. Now, those technical fields we need the good students in the technical fields as well. You have to have certain levels of understanding and knowledge to make these computerized pieces of equipment work. And so we're still trying to fight that stigma
We are.
of going into a technical field, but the folks who go into these technical fields also make a really, really good living.
I had a parent tell me one time, um, I don't want my son going into maintenance. And maintenance is not cleanup on aisle 13.
Right.
Maintenance is, and that's what I explained to him. I said, well, the industrial maintenance, or ILT, that we industrial electronics, that's not what that is. I mean, it's not cleanup. Um, and then when I told her the salaries are anywhere from 60 up, they were like, well, maybe he does need to be in maintenance. So, but you're right, that stigma exists out there. And if we can combat that, then and put them in our technical trades, they will do well. They will do very well. It's a career for life. It's not, well, this is my job. This is my
Right.
career.
Well, if I can
And
say a couple things about that, one of the things that we really emphasize here, keep in mind, our president, Jeff Lynn, he came from industry. Michael came from industry. I was in industry before I started working at CAC as well. Carl, that's actually where you and I met, I believe,
yes.
was in industry. So we have a penchant toward helping people in industry and working in industry. I've had a lot of people say to me, "Why should I work in industry?" Or but on the other side, they're worried about whether they have a job in the future or not. With the fact of everybody's concerned with what is AI going to do with our jobs? Is it taking my job? We hear all these things, and PLCs, which is programmable logic controller. We hear these things, but I just want to put it this way: somebody has to take care of that machine. Somebody has to take care
Absolutely.
of those lines. And it's the person that's in mechatronics, the ILT, the AUT, whatever we want to call the designation for our mechatronics maintenance programs. Those are the people that are going to have a job in the future because somebody has to take care of those machines.
Right. Has to keep them running. They have to
Has
keep
to keep it
running
running.
because,
Absolutely.
Honda, for example, or, any of the suppliers for Honda, if they have a shutdown that causes Honda to shut down, that costs them tens of $1,000s per minute when a
Yes.
piece of machinery is shut down. So the folks who know how to work on that machinery, get it back up and running, to maintain it so that it doesn't shut down, those are very important people in the industrial world.
Yeah. And of course, the state of Alabama, we're gracious to be here and able to apply for these grants that we apply for. This $200,000 that this grant, of course, we will put we any type of things that we can help with that, we put toward that. Any
Mhm.
leverage that we have, we can put toward it. But the I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. The This is just the first stage of this grant. This is the planning part of it, and there's three more stages that go along with it. So
Mhm.
hopefully we can outfit it with more equipment. That's our goal because if the equipment we have is going to help that student or that incumbent worker when they get into the industry setting. The more they see, the more they know. It gives us a better student, but of course, it gives them a better employee, more marketable.
So how do we become a student with these programs at CAC and in Talladega? What's the how do what's the process for finding out more about the classes, enrolling in classes, and those kind of things?
It's relatively easy. I mean, there is an online process, but I'm going to encourage anybody that is interested in coming to this facility here in Talladega. Come through the front doors, come see me. I will give
Yep.
you a tour of the facility. I will talk to you. I'll introduce you to the people, um, and walk you through the steps. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on is being able to help every student where they are. And so if someone comes in and they've never been to school, which we get a lot of, or we get the 45-year-old person that needs to be retrained to go back into a different occupation, scared to death of walking in the door and going to school. We bring them in within 15 to 30 minutes after giving them a tour of the place, talking, just being decent human beings and just understanding their situation and talking. They're excited about coming to school after that. And then we walk them through the entire process.
Yep. CAC.edu, CACC.edu.
That's your starting place. Walk through the door or go online and check out the programs there and the information there. I also want to mention quickly before we go, um, financial aid. That's always a question, especially in the current economy. People want to know how much these things cost. How do I pay for these things? And in a lot of the technical fields, you would be amazed at how many scholarship and grant opportunities there are. So don't be afraid to come in and ask the question. You will be amazed at what kind of help, financial help, is available out there if you want to start one of these programs.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you so much for spending the time with us today on the video podcast series, and great information. A lot of information that I'm happy to help get out to the public and to our viewers and listeners. So we appreciate everything you guys do with us. Appreciate our partnership. We have our leadership classes coming up in October, November, and December, and they're already starting to fill up. That's one of the things, Jerry, you mentioned the ease of participating in things on the Talladega campus at the Talladega Center. And we find that with our leadership classes that a lot of people from throughout the region can get to Talladega fairly easily. So our leadership classes are always very successful there. And again, we appreciate your partnership, and thank you both for taking the time to be with us on the podcast today.
Thank you. Appreciate what you do, Carl. We thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you guys. And folks, thank you for watching and listening to the East Alabama Works video podcast series. I'm Carl Brady with East Alabama Works, and we'll see you on the next episode.